Do you ever get the feeling that your job is outgrowing you instead of you outgrowing your role? You've been in leadership for a while now, and there's a time when all it took to have a successful meeting with your teams was a simple email, a plan with your calendar, or even a quick phone call just through your secretary, and your agenda was sorted. But now you're struggling to keep your head above the waters. The job market is evolving too fast for your liking. Talk of AI answering your questions, automation of almost everything you once enjoyed doing manually, the shifting work cultures that are changing the rules, and your head is spinning. You honestly want to catch up, and you tell yourself you're an ambitious person. You have that need to stay relevant and well above the curve. And right now, you're getting apprehensive about being rendered redundant. A chameleon protects itself from danger by adapting to the color of its environment. If you don't adapt, it's very easy to be left behind. So how do you secure your future without panicking your days away? In this video, I'm going to share with you the 7 most essential skills that you're going to need as a leader to thrive in this evolving job market. Hi. Welcome back. And if you're coming across my channel for the very first time, my name is Nancy. I'm a former airline professional turned entrepreneur with such a passion for workplace leadership success. I've been in leadership roles for the better part of my career, and this served as a boot camp for me for upgrading my people skills and also hydrating my mental and emotional stamina. So you'll mostly find me here discussing topics on matters of leadership, professional growth, career advancement, as you protect your mental and emotional well-being. So if this is the type of content that resonates with you, kindly consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell, and you will be notified whenever I release a new video. And to my old and new subscribers, thank you for joining and growing this workplace leadership community. Your subscription does not go unnoticed. This is a commitment that goes a long way. So thank you. As someone who's worked with leaders across different fields, be it the medical field, the hospitality industry, the world of fashion, food and nutrition, I've seen firsthand the skills that actually make or break careers. And these are skills that, if well mastered, are going to future-proof your leadership. They're going to set you apart as your workplace goes through the changes. So please stay with me till the end of this video as I share these skills and also delve into practical tips that you can actually use to develop them. If you're ready for takeoff, I am ready. So let's do this. The first skill, you want to level up your communication and influence game. A leader's words can inspire or discourage. Do you want to be heard, or do you want to be remembered? You want to make the conscious decision to make your teams feel like they're part of something bigger. This is what is going to help them stay committed, especially when things get tough, because in any organization, they definitely will. You can count on it as part of growth. So just imagine that you're leading your teams through this major shift. It's very, very important to communicate where you're headed and why you're headed there, so that they can trust in the journey. And this could be a case of restructuring where people have to be laid off, or some have to be moved across these departments, and probably this is against their will. Or even it could be a case of budget cuts where people have to go on unpaid and unplanned for leave, which means that their benefits will be withdrawn, and they know that the month may just be longer than the money before stability resumes. So you as the leader will need to make those under your umbrella to feel secure about the road ahead. And you do this by explaining the bigger picture in a language that actually makes sense to them. People don't resist change, they resist uncertainty. So upping your communication game is also going to help you win people over to you without a power struggle. And strong communicators are really, really good at this. The moment you know how to frame your message to match what your audience cares about, you want to be able to read the room. You want to tap into their emotions, not to manipulate, but to find a way of building trust and credibility. And that way you can align their pains and concerns and offer ideas from a solution standpoint. Selling is a survival skill in leadership. Your title alone is not going to make people listen to you, but this foundation of trust is what is going to make them gravitate towards your leadership. Think of that one colleague of yours who seems to get their needs attended to effortlessly. The secret might just be in the way they present their ideas. So if others stand to benefit just as much, then you're communicating the right language. Clear, persuasive communication is what is going to get you recognized, respected, and rewarded. I call it the triple R phenomenon, recognition, respect, rewards. Embrace storytelling. Refine your public speaking skills. Learn persuasive techniques that are going to push your communication game to the next level. The second skill, adaptive thinking and learning agility. What worked yesterday will not necessarily work for you tomorrow. And if you found yourself even remotely saying that this is how we've always operated, this is how we've always run this joint, and the company is still on its feet, please pull a chair, because you run the risk of being rendered redundant. Right now, technology is shaping the future of leadership, and adaptability is your survival kit. The faster you learn, the quicker you'll adjust, and the faster you will move forward. Also, the more valuable you're going to become in that role. You probably know of a friend of yours or even a colleague who dismissed remote work or AI-inspired tools just a few years ago, for example, and they were insisting that these were just trends that were going to come and go. But now, the new reality is that they have to play catch up and keep up. It's not very comfortable, but with all the younger, tech-savvy Gen Zs who are being injected into the organization, their position is in danger. So embracing some of these digital tools is actually going to give you a competitive edge. Even if you don't use the knowledge right now, your escape path lies in staying curious, being open-minded, willing to evolve. No one wants an outdated leader, though many people will not say it out loud, but this is where your ability to let go of your comfort zone is going to be tested. Learning agility is going to make you future-proof. You want to become a sponge, hungry for knowledge, whether it's evolving technologies or evolving leadership styles. You may have been leading or ruling in a way that causes so much friction with your teams. And this means that if there are changing expectations or even demands on you, people would not be as willing to clue you in. So the fastest way to build adaptability is to reframe every disruption into a growth opportunity, whether it's the AI replacing tasks or the company restructuring that you feel like is caving in on you and it feels like a threat. Resist the urge to panic. Instead, ask yourself, what can this teach me? Is it that I cannot learn something new? Or is it that I do not want to learn? And when you're tempted to say it's frustrating, consider the opposite and tell yourself, this is my chance to grow. Adaptability is a muscle that you need to train daily. So be okay being uncomfortable. Put yourself in a situation where you're not the smartest person in the room, for example. This is part of actively seeking out new challenges, because that is where growth will happen. And a quick example, instead of managing your teams where you know everybody, you know how they operate, you know how they function, their personality types, their strengths, try cross-functional, cross-departmental projects where you're less familiar with the groups, you don't know each other as much, and here you'll be deliberately putting yourself in a learning zone, and this discomfort will stretch you and force you to learn fast and flex new muscles. So instead of sidestepping the unease, roll with the punches, go with the flow. And a practical tip, micro learning is your best bet. Taking up short courses before the need arises, and then normalize networking with forward-thinking professionals in your organization. The next essential skill to adopt is emotional intelligence, or relational mastery, if you may. Did you know that you can actually be the smartest person in the room, but if you cannot connect with people, if you cannot handle conversations, difficult or otherwise, with grace, your leadership will fall flat. Just think of this manager in your organization, really good at their work, but when you're working with her, you're always wondering, is her heart made of stone? Is it made of sawdust? They come up with the best strategies ever, but people unanimously agree that they're terrible at handling people. And the choice word here is borderline polarizing. They will dismiss your ideas. They will ignore your struggles. They will make decisions without considering how you will be impacted. People don't follow knowledge, they follow connection. So your raw intelligence may have earned you that position, but smart people skills are going to keep you there. Leaders with high emotional intelligence make people feel valued, they make people feel understood, empowered, and that's what gets results. So you also want to be able to outsmart your problems or challenges at the workplace. Being head smart, especially in your area of expertise, can easily help you solve the complex problem. But if you crack under pressure, it's not going to matter. Your teams are going to be looking at you as that boss who loses it when stressed, the one who should be approached and handled with care when the building is on fire, Maybe you've snapped at your team members a couple of times before. You've made rushed bad decisions, one after another, and people have seen you completely shut down in the weight of stress. Before you know it, you're the last person to be solicited in case of utmost emergency because your inability to regulate emotions has already killed your credibility, making you your own worst enemy. So if you're becoming famous for blowing up at your teams and causing all this havoc and panic all over the place, try exercising emotional regulation. Consciously control your reactions. And there's this practical tip that I call the pause, absorb, reframe technique, or the PAT acronym, where before you react, you ask yourself, what outcome do I want and how best can I respond to get it? And then feel the pulse of the room, listen beyond the words and read people's emotions in real time, and then adjust your approach to connect more effectively with them. And you want to know who's engaged, who's skeptical, who's in need of encouragement. Then ask open-ended questions to uncover what they really, really need and how you can offer it. At number 4, strategic thinking. Your greatest strength in leadership is thinking beyond the present, anticipating, connecting the dots, always being 10 steps ahead. I read somewhere that Blockbuster laughed at Netflix, Kodak ignored digital cameras, and they probably failed to see what was coming. Thinking long term, you can spot opportunities early, then adapt and plan for growth and not necessarily for survival. And if you only think about today, tomorrow will crush you. Think of your bosses who are always in that firefighting mode. Every single day they are stressed. They're chasing after urgent deadlines, overworking their team members to meet the short targets that they have set, but they're barely keeping their heads above the waters. I call this the dilemma of poor planning. The future is not something that suddenly happens. It has everything to do with the decisions that you make right now. Consider those who never ever considered remote work before the year 2020, for example, and then the pandemic hit, forcing them to shift overnight. This is a season that was marked by a lot of panic, a lot of stress, loss of employees, that struggle to survive literally. But there are those who are also already in tune with remote working conditions. So the transition was rather manageable. Our parents always told us choices have consequences. So the choices that you make today are going to impact your legacy. And leadership is not just about hitting the targets. You want to create something that is going to outlast you, something that is going to still matter tomorrow. And in most interviews, you'll hear the interviewers asking, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? It's because you're naturally expected to grow and think forward. And there's that biting reality of waking up 5 years from now and realizing that for the most part, you've been handling tasks daily, putting out daily fires, managing short-term goals, but you did not create anything that lasts. A quick example, you've probably treated your team members as replaceable tools because labor was easily available and you made sure that they knew they could be replaced. And then in a few years, you wake up to the reality that the best people have left the company. The company culture has been broken or terribly diluted, and you have to start again from ground zero. Investing in your teams is going to come with such ripe benefits. You'll build strong relationships with a culture of growth that is going to have your team sticking with you for years on end and through any storms. I should know this because I worked for an organization that practiced what I'm preaching now. And even all these years later, since I handed in my resignation and relocated to France, this one company can do no wrong in my files. Your legacy as a leader is not built in a day. It's actually built in the small, very intentional decisions that you make every single day. At number 5, coaching and talent development. The best leaders elevate others. They create more leaders. So if you don't develop your team, they're going to outgrow or even leave that organization. People don't stay where they're stuck. The best employees want more than just that paycheck. They want growth. They want to learn. They want to live out their purpose just like you. If you don't challenge them to their potential, another leader will gladly do it. Have you seen someone leave an organization, leave a job, not because of a bad pay, but because they felt like they were wasting their potential? Or in worst case scenarios, you who are supposed to be helping them operate in their strengths actually got into active competition because there's a part of you that felt threatened by their strength. If you want to attract and keep top talent, your ego will have to step out of the building. And your job is not just to manage, you're there to help them grow. You're there to show them the path forward. And here's a fun fact. A team that grows is actually a team that can handle changes. You want to have a team that can handle disruptions without always having to run to you for answers. And this comes from developing their skills. I'm thinking problem-solving skills, encouraging analytical thinking, building their confidence to pivot and take on challenges without fear. Because if your team is not constantly learning, they're going to struggle to adapt. They may even stop trying, which means that you'll find yourself looking to hire from outside for a skill that could have easily been developed within the team, within the organization. Adaptability is everything in today's fast evolving job market. And as a leader, your team is always watching you. So embrace coaching, personal development for your own benefit. You cannot teach what you don't believe in with conviction. So a quick tip: adopt a mentor's mindset. Check in on your teams regularly. Let them feel your effort up close. Skill number 6, resilience and stress management. Leadership can be tough. It comes with so much weight. You have to make decisions that are going to affect people's lives. There are expectations from senior management. And then you have that constant need to perform. So if you let pressure control you, it's going to eventually cloud your judgment. And then you find yourself lashing out at your teams, pushing them away with negativity, diluting your own energy until you reach a breaking point. Long-term success demands for composure under fire. Not controlling your emotions under stress simply means that your emotions are controlling you, and this can make your team members lose faith in you. Do you know of any of your leaders who are forever overwhelmed, and you've even coined a name for them, like they're always moving from crisis to crisis? That's not leadership, that's survivalism. So the question that you want to ask yourself here is not how do I avoid stress, but how do I turn it up for my good? Can I rise under pressure? And if yes, how so? The plan here is to train yourself, train your mind to stay strong in tough moments such that when the pressure rises, you have an inbuilt system for managing it and you recover quickly from setbacks. There are people who will crumble under pressure, and then there are those who are going to use it as fuel. Every major setback, be it failed projects, criticism, tight and reasonable deadlines, these are challenges that are going to weigh your level of resilience, and they'll also determine if you'll come out wiser, stronger, and even more respected. So a tip that you can look into: develop a stress management routine, that daily run around your block. Meditation, I personally call it prayer. Alone time, me times, just to build you. And whatever it is that you can delegate, please do. At number 7, collaboration and inclusivity. A leader who tries to do everything alone will eventually hit a wall. You want to bring in the right people together. You want to create space for fresh ideas. You want to build momentum through your team members' individual strengths. And teamwork multiplies impact. No leader can thrive alone. Just imagine you're leading this project and you refuse to ask for input from your team members because you believe that you are the best and you have the best ideas. But the only problem here is that you'll be losing out on crucial insights. You'll be overlooking potential problems, and eventually you will waste time fixing mistakes that could have been avoided. Strong leaders build stronger teams. And as we just discussed a few minutes ago at the beginning of this video, in today's fast-growing, ever-changing market, you cannot rely on what worked yesterday to work for you tomorrow. Leaders who rely only on their own viewpoints are going to eventually become outdated. The best ideas don't come from one mind. they come from many. Diverse perspectives are going to bring in fresh solutions. They're going to bring in new opportunities, and they're even going to give you that competitive edge that we're talking about. Just think about it. A company that hires people who think the same way can easily miss out on groundbreaking ideas because everybody is looking at their output through the same lens. And this, I believe, can actually be limiting. Different experiences bring in different solutions. And I talk about this at large with my clients because your past and your present experiences have a direct impact on your role at work. Diversity is a strength. Just look around, the leaders who welcome new ideas, different viewpoints, unconventional thinking, those are the leaders who actually drive change. So tell yourself, diverse perspectives are going to lead to smarter decisions and much, much better results. So of the above skills, which one would you say, in all honesty, is the most important for you at this point in your leadership journey? Please let me know in the comments section. And if you got value from this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and press the notification bell for more workplace leadership content just like this one. Also, feel free to share it with anyone you know who may benefit from the skills that we've discussed. And also, check out this video right here on the crucial people skills that are guaranteed to keep you at the top. It's going to shed more light on some of the aspects that we've discussed in this video. Thank you so much for your company, and see you on the next one. Bye.